UFC Fight Night, Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. I'm here to give you my full card breakdown and predictions on the entire card from top to bottom. We'll quickly recap UFC 316, see how well I did with my predictions, and then we'll tackle on this card. There's about how many fights? 13 fights again, which I love. A lot of them, some heavy favorites as well, but a lot of close ones, especially a banger main event that I want to tackle on. But last week, UFC 316, we went 9-4 in the predictions. Obviously, there were a lot of heavy favorites, but we crushed the prelims in the early prelims. We went 8-1 or 7-1, I'm sorry, in the early and regular prelims, only missing Chaos Williams. Now, every single fight that I got correct, I predicted the method of victory, which is why I'm still happy with the result. Obviously, went 2-3 on the main card, attacked two dogs, didn't go my way there, unfortunately. And then Patchy Mix, I don't even want to talk about him right now. I'm still recovering from that one. That's my bad. But overall, 9-4 on the card. We did pick Kayla Harrison as well for a championship. Didn't go my way with Sugar, obviously. Never fading Marab again. I don't care who it is. I don't even care. I don't care. Never fading Marab again. But overall, I mean, like I said, 9-4. Wish it was a double-digit win. 10-3 would have been, a lot better. But that's what we're aiming for. 10-3 or better this fight card. We have a few dogs. Like I said, some heavy money lines. A lot of fights that I probably wouldn't want to play either. But we'll run through the entire thing. And we're going to start from the bottom to the main event between Kamaru Usman and Joaquin Buckley. So let's go. Now, first fight of the night is Jamey-Lyn Horth versus Vanessa Demopoulos. Now, I will say Demopoulos is coming up in weight here, which means that, naturally she's probably going to be 125 in the octagon, and Jamey-Lyn Horth is going to be 140 because she's naturally already really big. In terms of just their fighting style, Demopoulos is would like to stand up. She's kind of mid everywhere. She's not terrible everywhere, but she's like, she'll try to wrestle you and grapple you as well. But Jamey-Lyn Horth, I mean, she's looking for that takedown immediately, and she's going to have the weight advantage here. So I kind of don't even want to spend too much time here. Demopoulos lost her last fight. She's coming up in weight here on short notice to fight Jamey-Lyn Horth, who also needs a win right now. I just see this going one way. Jamey-Lyn Horth is going to just clinch her on the cage, take her down, just beat her up. I think at some point Demopoulos is probably going to try to get back on her feet. She likes to be offensive on the feet when she's on her back. We've seen it before. She's won fights like that too, where she spent a majority of a round on her back and she was just throwing more. She can do that as well. Jamey-Lyn Horth, though, is going to come with those elbows. And at some point, Demopoulos is going to want to get up, and I think she's going to give up her back. And we can see Jamey-Lyn Horth lock something in and get a sub here. Now, because she's coming up in weight, Jamey-Lyn Horth is a minus 620 on FanDuel. Not in love with it. Started as a 430. Honestly, wouldn't have been a bad price to take someone like her in this position. 620 is kind of gross for the first fight, but if you take a prop, maybe sub decision, might get a better line, maybe minus 300 or something like that. Obviously, first fight of the night. Wouldn't go too crazy, but I still do like the favor here. I see no way of Demopoulos unless she somehow gets a knockout here, which she won't. So give me Jamey-Lyn Horth to win by submission or decision. Next fight, Phil Rowe versus Loosa. Now, both are also on losing streaks. Phil Rowe's 10-5 and Loosa is 10-4. Phil Rowe will have the 6.5-inch arm reach advantage and the 4-inch leg reach advantage. He's usually very long for this weight class already, but he's very lanky as well, and he's meant to be a striker, but he doesn't really let his hands go, and Loosa is kind of in that same position where, he sometimes does have that reach advantage. Obviously doesn't have it here, but he'll try to grapple, push you on the cage, might not really do much. I mean, we saw him getting pieced up by Bryan Battle, and I think a lot of people are going to lean towards Phil Rowe because of that. But Phil Rowe and Bryan Battle are completely different fighters, completely different animals. Bryan Battle's there to punch you in the face. Phil Rowe's kind of there, kind of coasting at times, and it's kind of frustrating if you're a Phil Rowe fan. But Phil Rowe, like I said, 10-5, 3-3 in the UFC. A lot of grappling. Lately. He got smoked by Craig Jones last year. But he is on a losing streak. He lost to Jake Matthews in his last fight, then lost a split to Neil Magny because he just didn't do anything in that last round. I mean, it honestly shouldn't even have been a split. Neil Magny should have won that fight regardless. Picked up a win before that to Nico Price, Jason Witt. I mean, people really cans, fucking tomato cans. And then we have Loosa, 10-4, 2-2, and 1 no contest. Obviously, that no contest is Brian Battle. He was getting pieced up. He got poked in the eye, and he honestly probably wanted a way out. But did lose to Gabriel Bonfim. We were able to see Bonfim actually go 3 rounds, which was very big for him. But it's not like he was presented too much damage from the other side. It's not like there was some crazy knockout power on this side from Loosa either. A lot of decisions. I mean, he has 1 sub, 5 knockouts, and 8 decisions. Obviously, 4 that he's won and 4 that he's lost. Kind of a decision machine, and I kind of see this one going the same way. I do lean the over 2.5 here. But in terms of how this fight's going to go, I think it's going to be Phil Rowe's going to try to let his hands go early. Loosa is going to try to negate that, push him, grapple him on the cage. We saw Neil Magny do that to him. Why can't someone a little stockier and bigger than Neil Magny do that as well? I don't really see Phil Rowe presenting too much anything after the first round in terms of striking on the feet, anything that dangerous. Kind of a nasty, boring fight if I'm being honest with you. Loosa right now is minus 136. He was a minus 158. And people have been betting on Phil Rowe. I guess, people are looking for that dog. So maybe that's Phil Rowe for you, but I'm not going that way. I'm going to go with Loosa. I just think that he's just a bigger, stronger fighter. I think he's going to be able to take Phil Rowe down and keep him there if he needs him to. I mean, if he needs to. If it extends past that first round, I mean, I think it's all Loosa, to be honest. All that clinching, it's going to be boring as hell. Like I said, I lean the over. Most likely going to be 2.5. But give me Loosa to win by decision. Next fight, Ricky Simón versus Cameron Smotherman. Now, these odds are very wrong because Cameron Smotherman did pick this fight up like 24 hours ago. It was supposed to be Charles Jourdain and Smotherman, who fought not that long ago and lost, is coming here and fighting Ricky Simón, who has some momentum building up with his crazy knockout win against Javid Basharat. Big underdog in that fight. Obviously, Basharat super slick. Only lost his last fight prior to that. Before that was undefeated, but lost to Zahabi by decision. Kind of just got outworked on the feet by Zahabi. Nothing too powerful. I can't speak. Or dangerous coming that way. Maybe he underestimated Ricky Simón because Simón knocked him out clean. And now we have Cameron Smotherman, who's going to be 3 inches taller, same reach advantage, and the 1-inch leg reach advantage. Like I said, Smotherman is 12-5, 1-1 in the UFC. Lost his last, beat Jake Hadley, where he was a massive underdog, outworked him by decision, and then got outworked by Surrey City, just got taken down, beat up. I mean, City needed that W, and he made sure he got it. It was pretty close in terms of the odds on that fight, and Surrey rightfully won. And he's kind of, it's been a month and a week since then, pretty much. A month and 2 weeks almost. And he's fighting someone, Ricky Simón, who probably will do the same. He has the power. He's going to be able to wrestle him as well if he wants to. Ricky Simón, 12-5, 9-5 in the UFC. Like I said, I mean, he was on a pretty bad losing streak before beating Basharat. I mean, probably would have been cut, if we're being honest, if he didn't win. But he lost to Song Yadong, Mario Bautista, and Vinicius Oliveira. First of all, he lost to 2 top 10 bantamweights already. Song Yadong being, I believe, 6, or maybe even 5, I think. So top 5. Batista, I think, is at 8 now. And Vinicius, who might be ranked at this point, but regardless, we know what type of animal Oliveira is. So not terrible losses. I actually saw this fight live. He smoked Jack Shore. He was on a pretty fat win streak before that. And then he just ran into some elite fighters. Not really good fighters, elite fighters. And he still beats good fighters like Basharat and Jack Shore. I think Smotherman is maybe at the border of good. So as long as Ricky Simón isn't underestimating him, I think he can cleanly win this. Now, Smotherman is super young. I don't think he's going to get like smoked or something like that. But the odds suggest that Ricky Simón is going to kill him, because Ricky Simón is a minus 520. Obviously, this just happened, this morning. So the odds haven't really shifted in terms of this fight. But minus 520, kind of disgusting. Now, could Smotherman win a round? Maybe. I think he can win a round if he's just able to stay in the fight. Ricky Simón likely wins that. Ricky Simón's winning that second round for sure, and probably the third. Unless he gets tired, maybe that's the one that Smotherman steals. It's going to be super close at first. Ricky's just going to be trying to land that shot, obviously, but he's going to be patient as well. Smotherman needs this win. He's going to be coming out here looking to finish Ricky Simón. I don't think he does it either. Simón is super tough. So maybe Smotherman's spread might be the way to go if you'd want to put something on this. I wouldn't place Ricky Simón in a parlay at minus 520. I think he's probably one of the bigger locks in terms of favorites, but still 520 on a parlay is always making you sweat. Don't really want to deal with that, but I still like Ricky Simón here. I think he'll get it done within 3 rounds. It's not one of those Bashrat situations. I think Smotherman's going to be able to, not going to underestimate him, going to be able to just get out of those shots, those looming hooks that Simón's going to be throwing at him early. And I think Ricky Simón can just pick up a clean 3-round win. So give me Ricky Simón to win by decision. Next fight, we have Cody Durden versus Jose Ochoa. Both are the same height, same reach, and Ochoa has the very small half leg reach advantage here. Both are coming off of losses, very different type of losses, we should say. Both by decision, but did not go the same way. Cody Durden, 6-5 in the UFC in 1 draw, has lost every single way you can think of, except, I guess, DQ. Lost to Joshua Van in his last fight by decision. I mean, Joshua Van just beat him up. He landed 165 significant strikes against 70. Cody Durden did land 2 takedowns, which might be big. 3 minutes of control of a 15-minute fight. Not bad, about 20%. Averages about 4 takedowns a fight. Obviously, there's a lot of fights. He's been in the UFC for a long time at this point, 2020. So he's landed at least a takedown in most fights. Obviously, a lot in like 2022, 2023. And then he fights someone like Tagir. Not really going to take Tagir down. You can kill Matt Schnell without taking him down. So he didn't have to. He subbed him and didn't have to take him down. Let's just say it like that. Had to take down Van, but we know Van's takedown defense isn't the best. And there's not much on Jose Ochoa. Obviously, has 100% takedown defense, but he's only fought one person, and it was 2 takedowns that he stuffed against Loner Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh, an absolute dog, though. He's an absolute dog, and Kavanaugh rightfully won that fight, but it was closer than people thought it was going to be coming into that fight, because a lot of people didn't really know Ochoa. But he's a monster. He's honestly a monster, and he's just kind of scary. Like, his kicks are strong. I mean, he'll sub you. His hands are super quick as well. And that's why I'm a bit afraid for Cody Durden in this spot, because Durden's going to likely try to wrestle him early, just tire out his arms as well, just make him think of that takedown, because Cody Durden can also stand and bang with you if that presents itself for him. Is he going to want to do that against Ochoa? I don't know. Ochoa's going to be trying to land those kicks early. He's trying to get to that calf early, trying to have you think that that's what he's going to be doing the entire time, and then boom, head kick immediately. I mean, he's super quick. He's fast. He's just like a little, like, fucking, I don't even know how to say it, but he's just like an energized bunny, pretty much. And I think that he's going to be coming here to finish Cody Durden. Now, does he finish him by TKO? I think that's really hard to do against someone like Cody Durden, who's only been finished once, and that was to Bruno Silva, where Bruno Silva has that power, and he was basically beating the shit out of Bruno Silva in that first round until he got caught. He got caught against someone like Silva. Very fair to do. I don't think Jose Ochoa has that type of power, but he has the precision to piece him up the same way Joshua Van did. Joshua Van probably could have got him out of there 2 or 3 times in that fight. Because, I mean, if you saw Cody Durden at the end of that fight, it did not look pretty for him. But regardless of that, I think that he's going to be able to hurt Cody Durden on the feet. Maybe Cody Durden tries to level change, and then we see Jose Ochoa get a Gillian potentially. We know he can get subbed. I mean, 10 fights, 10 of Cody Durden's fights have ended in sub, and he's only won 6 of them. So he's been subbed more than he's lost by TKO and decision combined. It's definitely there. It's definitely in play. Jose Ochoa 7-1, obviously. Like I said, 0-1 in the UFC, has 1 sub win, 6 TKOs. But listen, and it was his last fight in LFA, was in Anaconda. And won no contest legal, whatever. That doesn't count. He's 8-1. We're using the Sugar Sean O'Malley rule on him. He's 8-1. But regardless, Durden's super tough. I think this will most likely go to a decision. But if it were to have a finish, I think it's going to be on Ochoa's side. I think he's going to be able to lock something in and potentially sub Cody Durden. Now, in terms of the odds, Ochoa is a favorite, which is kind of scary. Minus 205. He was a minus 125. I mean, a lot of money coming in on Jose Ochoa. People are looking for dogs. Cody Durden's not a bad dog, I'll be honest. Plus 158, not a bad dog at all. Is it how I'm leaning? Probably not. But he's not a bad dog at all. Minus 205 is kind of scary for someone who only has 1 UFC fight. So I understand if you want to go with the experience and the person who's shown that he's a dog and he can stay in there for 3 rounds. For sure. I'm just not going to go that way. So give me Jose Ochoa to win by submission or decision. Next fight, Malcolm Wellmaker versus Chris Moutinho. Now, Wellmaker is going to be 3 inches taller, 3.5-inch reach advantage, and the 2.5-inch leg reach advantage. All going to be super, super, super important, especially the reach advantage, because we know Malcolm Wellmaker has some of the strongest hands in the UFC. 9-0, made his debut against Cameron Simon. And, he sent him to oblivion in under 2 minutes. Chris Moutinho, 14-6. He is 0-2 in the UFC, obviously, and then he left the UFC, did some grappling, did some boxing, lost both. And then he went on a 5-fight win streak, all by finish. Obviously, you look at the people he's fought, 14-16, 8-2, 6-7, 22-16. Not the best, Not the best quality of fighters, obviously. But you know what? He's getting wins. I saw his presser where he said, I was in a bad place when I was in the UFC and things like that. I'm in a better place now. I'm happy for him, honestly. I love hearing things like that, honestly. Especially when they fight their way back to the UFC. I think it's important. And I think if he loses this fight, I hope it's not his only fight. And I hope he has a chance at least 1 or 2 more fights. Because he has a tall task ahead of him. Malcolm Wellmaker, 9-0, 5 TKOs, including his last 3. And that includes a Fire Contender Series fight if you haven't seen it. And then Cameron Simon, who's been finished twice already. Pain. Or 3 times. Was it 3 times? Twice and 1 by decision. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. I'm so sad right now. Anyways, Wellmaker is going to be in there early trying to kill him because it's in Atlanta. He's from Atlanta. He's going to be trying to kill Moutinho. We know Moutinho's tough. I think if Wellmaker expends too much energy early, it's going to smoke him bad because Moutinho, as we know, can be in there for 3 rounds. He has the cardio. He can get hit in the face and he won't go down. Now, if it extends, is Wellmaker going to be tired? And then I can already imagine the commentators are going to be like, Wellmaker's not throwing a lot. He might be tired. Moutinho's going to press forward. We know Moutinho has finishing ability too, most likely on the ground. Going to try to sub Wellmaker. I wouldn't mind a Moutinho sub towards the end of this fight, maybe, if it gets to that point. Not a bad prop to take in terms of Bellato because he already is a massive underdog. But I'm still going to go with the heavy favorite here, Wellmaker. He's at home. I think he seems very patient in there as well. He's not one of those fighters that are just looking to take your head off like Trevor Peek or something. No strays. Love Trevor Peek. But at home, he doesn't want to make any mistakes. He wants to highlight finish, obviously. And he said, now I could prove that I have stronger hands than Sean O'Malley. I think saying that, you're tough, brother. You're tough. I have no words for you. You're tough. But Malcolm Wellmaker, minus 2,500 on FanDuel. I don't remember. I think this might be the craziest line I've ever seen, ever. Has there been a bigger favorite than 2,500? Because I don't remember. I think Bo was like a 1,900 at some point, but 2,500 is crazy. Give me Malcolm Wellmaker to win by knockout TKO, but I mean, if you play this line right here, 25, brother, I got some phone numbers that you can call because it's not that serious. I'll tell you right now, it's not that serious. Don't do this. 2,500. That's somebody. That's how much rent is in New York. If if you're paying a price on a money line that is the same as how much you pay for rent, don't bet on it. But give me Malcolm Wellmaker to win by knockout TKO. Next fight, Michael Chiesa versus Court McGee. Now both are on winning streaks, which is cool. Chiesa is 2 inches taller, same reach advantage, but he also holds the 1.5 inch leg reach advantage. Going to be big because he's going to be looking to kick and punch early. Obviously, he's going to be looking for some combos against Court McGee, who's super tough early. Don't really want to get too much into this fight because I'll be honest, not that interested. 18-7. I mean, he's won his last two by sub, but it was Tony and then Max Griffin, which is a great win. Lost to Kevin Holland by Darce before that and was on a layoff, so kind of a different game before that against Sean Brady and Luque, Demon Luque at that time. Court McGee, I mean, UFC legend, not Hall of Famer, but legend. 40 years old at this point. I mean, 11-12 in the UFC. Won one by sub against Tim Means, was on a 3-fight losing streak before that, but 2 knockouts in that time and lost to Morona by decision. A lot of decision losses. I mean, that's probably likely how this is going to go. I don't think, aside from a sub, which Court McGee has never been sub before, I don't really see how anybody gets finished here unless Court McGee subs Chiesa. If Chiesa wins, I think it's probably going to be by decision. He's probably just going to try to take him down, try to his best not to get his neck just taken from him, and just going to try to offset as much damage as possible from someone like Court McGee, who's dangerous early. Once it gets past that, first round and a half maybe, he's 40. He's going to be tired. I think it's going to be all Chiesa. We might even see a late finish by Chiesa. In terms of the odds, Chiesa minus 370. Not in love with it for Chiesa at this point in his career, but honestly one of the better favorites I would say that you can take because he has the experience and he knows what to do in there. He's no minus 2,500. So if you're paying rent, if your rent is $370, then I don't know where you're living, but put me on. Anyways, I like Chiesa to win here by decision. I just think that he's going to be able to do enough in 3 rounds. Try to mitigate as much offense coming his way. Trying to, like I said, Court McGee is really not anything too special after that first round and a half. So give me Michael Chiesa to win by decision. And the last prelim is Paul Craig versus Rodolfo Bellato. Now, they were supposed to fight a few weeks ago, and Bellato got sick. Let's just say that. And they're refighting now, and I hate this fight. I don't like this fight at all. This is how it's going to go, right? All right, Paul Craig has the half-inch reach advantage, the 2-inch leg reach advantage. Paul Craig is fighting for his life here because he's on a 3-fight losing streak. It's all by different ways of getting finished, or losing, I should say, which sucks for him. Lost to Brandon Allen, not a bad loss. Bahalio, not a bad loss. Bonico, not a bad loss. Bellato, IQ, in the sewer. I mean, if there's something below hell, that's where Bellato's IQ is. But he has a big fat head, and he doesn't really go down too easily. Now Paul Craig goes down very easily, but it doesn't mean you're going to put him away because he's still dangerous on his back. But we've seen Bellato just manage himself, even if he's on top position, very well, where he's just going to be just piecing you up. It's just like a big ogre on top of you. Imagine that, and he's just doing this the entire time. I mean, there's really no other way for this fight to go. I do like the under here, I'm not going to lie. I think someone likely gets finished early. Listen, Paul Craig can get on his back, get his neck, and choke his ass out Absolutely. But Bellato's pretty sound on the ground as well. I think Bellato probably just ends up finding the way of getting him down and just ground and pound until some of those shots are going to land eventually. And I think that's probably how he gets him out. In terms of the odds, I mean, he's minus 430 right now. It's about the same as he was, right? I mean, we can't really get the line before that because this is in June, but I believe the line was open. This fight was a few weeks ago, but regardless. Minus 340. That's what I kind of remember though. Has jumped to 430. Not in love with the price. I wouldn't really play this price. Like I said, I like the under. I think someone gets finished. Maybe fight does not go to decision or go the distance. Might be the way to go. You might get a similar line to this for that. And if Bellato wins, it's likely by finish. Paul Craig as well. So regardless, I like Bellato. So give me Rodolfo Bellato to win by knockout or TKO. First fight of the main card, we have Alonzo Menifield versus Omar Sy. Now, these next two fights are super one-sided. I don't really see a lot of dog play, dog shots. That might sound worse. Any underdog value, that's probably how I should have started this with these next two. But we'll run through them really quick. Omar Sy, 11-0, going to be 4 inches taller, 7-inch reach advantage, 3.5-inch leg reach advantage. Very important too for him. He's going to try to keep Menifield at range as much as possible until he is the one who initiates the clinching and the grappling. Push him on the fence and just try to take Menifield down, which isn't that hard. Menifield, 78% takedown defense. Omar Sy averages 3.21 takedowns a fight. Obviously, only 2 fights here to base that off of, even though that kind of doesn't make sense in terms of that 2 takedowns technically. So maybe this is based off a few more fights too, which is kind of confusing, to be honest. But regardless, I mean, he's 2-0 in the UFC. I mean, killed Tokos, he should have, and won by decision against Dawoon Jung. Jung really didn't present anything too crazy, but I will say Omar Sy, not that impressive, I'll be honest with you. He hasn't looked like he doesn't have anything aside from just being able to get on your back really easily. He kind of gasses out a little bit. If it wasn't Dawoon Jung and let's say Alonzo Menifield in that position, also Menifield could get tired as well, he kind of could have been clipped at some point, and then things probably would have looked a little bit different. But I think he's going to learn from those first 2 fights. Menifield 16-5, 9-5 in the UFC and 1 draw. It's been in a million places. Won a split against Julius Walker where, I had Julius Walker in that fight, and I think I was being a little bit biased at the end, thinking Julius Walker won. Probably could have won. It was a split, but I don't mind Menifield winning that. It wasn't a robbery or anything. It was just a very close fight. Yeah, he's had a weird career. I mean, lost 2 before that, and then had a pretty fat win streak prior to that. This has just been weird. I mean, at this point, he's 37. Probably doesn't present too much danger in terms of anything but his power at this point that he loses after a round and a half. We saw Julius Walker super tough, but he couldn't really put him down like that. Is he going to be able to do that against Sy, who's going to be tiring him the hell out most of the fight? I don't really think so. Omar Sy is minus 850 on FanDuel. Skyrocketed from 430. Not playable at all, but I do think he gets a finish here. I think he gets Menifield down. Menifield's going to be tired. He's just going to land some crazy blows on him and probably ends by TKO. But regardless, I think he gets finished in general. So give me Omar Sy to win by knockout or TKO. By knockout or submission, my bad. Next fight, we have Mansur Abdul-Malik versus Cody Brundage. Now, this is an actual monster, okay? Malik is 2 inches taller, 7.5-inch reach advantage, nasty, and a 1-inch leg reach advantage. Malik is 8-0, and he's scary. 2-0 in the UFC, murdered Dusko, and then beat the shit out of Nick Klein. Won Contender Series, obviously. He's won every fight by finish. Let's just start with that. And he's won 5 straight fights by knockout TKO within the first 2 rounds. We know he can get 2 rounds, go 2 rounds at least. And honestly, his his cardio doesn't look bad at all. Obviously, he's 27. He's just entering his prime. He has hands. He's quick. He's strong. He's scary. He's actually scary, dude. And then we have Cody Brundage, who, 11-6, constantly fighting for his life, 5-5 in the UFC. Picked up a nice win against Marquez. Marquez made a few mistakes in there that obviously, cost him the fight. No contest against Abdul, where Abdul dropped him and then started landing back of the head blows like an idiot. Lost to Bonico, beat Zach Reese because Zach Reese tried to land a triangle and he just slammed him. Beat Malkoun because Malkoun also punched him in the back of the head. Just a lot of things that really aren't his fault, but us as fans, we're like, dude, just fight, pussy. But obviously it's not like that. We're not fighters. So he gets killed here, though. I'm not even going to. If there was a lock, I know he minus a million, whatever. But if there was like one favorite that I was like, this dude is winning no matter what, it's Mansur Abdul-Malik. Minus 1,000 on FanDuel. Was minus 520. If I was a millionaire, I'd probably put some on him at minus. I'd probably put like $100,000 on him. Probably. If, these were the odds and I was a millionaire at the time. But regardless, I think he wins. I think he smokes him. I think he finishes him within the first 2-3 minutes of the fight. I want to say finish, but I'm just going to go knockout TKO. So give me Mansur Abdul-Malik to win by knockout or TKO. Now, next fight, and this is a banger. We have Cody Garbrandt with luscious hair here. Nice. And Raoni Barcelos. Now, Cody is on a losing streak, or lost his last one, I should say. He's going to be an inch taller, which is very interesting because he's a shorty. He's going to have the 1.5 inch reach disadvantage here and the 1 inch leg reach disadvantage here. So Raoni already looks super big and ripped and lean. He's going to have some anatomy advantages, nothing too crazy, but he will be the shorter fighter there. Now we'll start with Barcelos because he's 19-5, right? 8-4 in the UFC, very solid, I think. 8-4, 2-fight win streak, one by finish against Quinones, and then he beat Talbot where he took Talbot down. How many times? Someone guess. Someone take a guess. 3, 2, 1, 9. 8. Shit. I counted 9 when I watched. Anyways, 8 out of 15 attempts. Talbot landed 1 for a minute. Cool. 10 minutes of this fight. So 66% of this fight was Raoni Barcelos on top of him, beating him up. So he has that pedigree in him. Averages 2.5 takedowns a fight. Obviously, 37% accuracy. So let's just say he's averaging around 6 takedown attempts per fight. He's taken down every opponent aside from Umar since 2022. So 5 of his last 6 opponents he's taken down. Obviously, he's not winning a lot of these fights. Kyler Phillips is a dog. Umar, as we know. Victor Henry just got pieced up on the feet a lot. And I watched this fight, and I feel like it can go very in terms of the striking. It's going to be close, same way here. I just think that he's going to be able to just land a bit more. Barcelos is a bit older, obviously. He's 38. Cody is not that young. Obviously, he's like 33, 34. Lost his last one to Figgy, but was on a 2-fight win streak before that. Obviously, Brian Keller and Trevin Jones. Jesus Christ. But listen, a win's a win. And the gauntlet that he was at before that, he deserves it. He deserves it. We all love Cody. No love. So, also no love being his nickname after Patchy. Yes, last week. Why am I doing this to myself? Regardless, Cody loses to Figgy because Figgy takes him down, chokes him out. He looked super quick in there too, but obviously Figgy's just a different beast. Even stronger, obviously at this weight class. Just Cody was being very patient, but also a little bit stagnant at times. I don't think he's going to show that type of respect to someone like Barcelos. His chin seems to be very intact at this point. Barcelos, he's only been TKO'd once, and that was to Umar, where Umar put him out. But listen, for as long as that fight lasted, he lasted 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Looked super tough in there early. I think probably gonna look the same in this fight early, and then Cody's just gonna put a clinic on him. I just think that he's better on the feet. If he's able to stuff some takedowns, he's not some takedown defense god, But I think he's able to level out in, this bigger cage, now that it's not an apex, is going to benefit someone like Cody, who's going to be trying to move away from the fence when Raoni's going to try to grapple and clinch him. I think it's going to be very big for him. Obviously going to be at a bit slight disadvantage, sorry. So he's going to be standing in there, obviously with Barcelos, but he's going to be quicker in there. His footwork has always been super clean. I just feel like this is Cody's fight right here. Cody right now plus 164, was plus 126. Line keeps going up. I actually don't think it gets higher than this. I would predict that it probably gets to about 150 by fight night. I love Cody. I mean, obviously, it might be a little biased here, but I feel like these are the winnable fights. Not the Figgies of the world, but the Raoni Barcelos, I think this line is because of what he did to Talbot. Talbot's a different fighter, doesn't have that experience, doesn't know how to get up from the cage like maybe a Cody Garbrandt can. I like Cody here. So give me the dog, Cody Garbrandt, to win by decision. Next fight. Edmen Shahbazyan versus Andre Petroski. Now, Shahbazyan is 2 inches taller, has the 2-inch reach advantage, and the 3-inch leg reach advantage. Now, they're both on win streaks right now. Edmen Shahbazyan is 14-5. 7-5 in the UFC. Picked up a win against Dallin Budka where he won by TKO. Got subbed by GM3. Beat AJ Dobson, smallest arms in the game. So he's picked up 2 of his last 3 fights. Not bad, super clean on the feet. Very quick, strong, usually longer, lankier, but still with power. But he tends to fade very early in the fight, even in a 3-rounder. He might have a round and a half in him. Andre Petroski, 13-3, 8-2 in the UFC. He's on a 3-fight win streak. I mean, all by decision, obviously, but a lot of domination. Just a lot of pure domination, which is great for him. Obviously, landed 3 takedowns against Josh Fremd. Had 13 minutes of control. 3 takedowns against Dylan Budka, 9 minutes of control. And this isn't him just not throwing anything. He controls, and obviously 12 significant strikes, sure. But, he's working on the ground as well. He's trying to look for that sub that he's gotten before. He got 2 subs in the UFC, obviously, early in his career. Put up a fight against Vieira where he also won by decision. Now, here's the thing. I actually think that this fight probably doesn't go to decision. And you might hear that and go, so you're going Edmen because obviously Petroski is going to just try to tire him out. Yes, I think he's going to try to tire him out. But I think this fight, as long as Petroski stays safe early, I think this is his fight. Once it gets towards the second round, I would say. Now, if Petroski wins that first round, I think Edmen is so cooked. He needs that first round to win this fight, whether it's by finish or just to win that round. Because Petroski, 54 takedown accuracy, lands 3.38 takedowns a fight. So let's just say he averages about 6 attempts. He lands 1 or 2 of them. You're on the ground the entire round. Edmen Shahbazyan, 65% takedown defense. That's awful. That's very bad. 2-2 in his last 4. Like I said, he might have the power. Petroski, as we've seen, 2 losses in the UFC, both by TKO. Weird one against Malkoun, super weird one, but still lost by TKO. That chin is kind of weird. Got, the kick also. He's not very durable. He kind of shows it at times if he gets hit. Doesn't know how to hide it much. So if he gets clipped early, it could be done. I don't like either of these fighters, I'll be honest. This is a red flag fight for me. But in terms of the odds, Petroski is a underdog here, plus 152. Went up to 158, right? And then is at 152 now. And Shahbazyan is a minus 196. Don't love that for someone like Edmen Shahbazyan. He should not be a favorite of that capacity, especially in a pretty even fight. If you want to take Shahbazyan, he's not subbing him. So if you want to take him, probably take him TKO decision. You might get a minus 150. Not bad if you like Shahbazyan. If you like Petroski, though, I think that he gets his back, and I think he chokes him out at some point late in that fight. Maybe had an arm choke. That could happen. I think that can absolutely happen. if Shahbazyan is dead tired and can't get up. So I like the dog here. I mean, I'll take the chance on the dog. I don't know if it's a red flag fight, so I don't know if I want to take it myself. But I don't mind it. Mine is plus 152 for Petroski, who's, on a nice little win streak. Knows what he has to do to win. Looks like he listens to his coaches after that first round, just high IQ. Just looks like he knows what he needs to do to win, and he doesn't shy away from that. He doesn't care about the finishers. He cares about winning, and that's what I like too, because I want to win. So give me Andre Petroski to win by submission. Next fight. Co-main event, we have Rowe's Namajunas versus Miranda Maverick. Now, Rose is 2 inches taller, but Miranda Maverick has the half inch reach advantage, and then Rose has the 1.5 inch leg reach advantage. So Rose, obviously taller, longer legs, which is going to be massive. She's going to be using a lot of kicks in here as well. Obviously, with her style, she's a 125er now, technically. Not naturally big for the division, obviously, but Miranda is super short. She's 5'3". Even their face-off, Miranda's very small. She's just very stocky. And she's such a good wrestler that, she kind of looks bigger. She has a big back, and then you see her on the ground, she'll be able to just hold you there. Now, I'm a bit afraid about this fight because Rose, 13-7, obviously 11-6 in the UFC. She's had 4 fights in this division, and she's won 2. But she's lost to title contender Menifield, who also just a monster on the feet. We saw what she did to Blanchfield as well. Almost beat Shevchenko. Beat Hebas, very favorable matchup for her. Tracy Cortez, which is a very important fight for something like Miranda Maverick, because Cortez is a wrestler, would like to take her down as well. Wasn't able to get that much success out of it. Obviously, she did come in, I believe, in short notice, but just got pieced up, and she even had a knockdown against Tracy Cortez. Cortez did land 2 takedowns, but only a minute of control. Even Rose had a few minutes of control, 6.5 in a 25-minute fight, not bad. And then Blanchfield, she lost to Blanchfield because, it was a close fight, and then Blanchfield kind of just took over and had a lot of control time as well. Just felt like Rose just got really tired in there. Blanchfield just knew what to do. But, she landed 94 significant strikes as well. Not bad. Aaron landed a few more. Now, for Miranda, though, 41% takedown accuracy, lands about 2. She's looking for a takedown. She's gotten a takedown in every fight in her 4-fight win streak. She didn't land a takedown against Jasdavicius, obviously, because that's Jasdavicius' game plan, where JJ landed 1 and had 7.5 minutes of control. She kind of just got outworked by the better version of her in that fight. But she's won 6 of her last 7, only losing to Macy Barber, Erin Blanchfield, and Jasmine Jasdavicius. So they've both only lost to really, 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 really good competition in this weight class. So how's this fight going to go? I mean, we know what Miranda Maverick's going to want to do. I think we all know Rose knows that as well. This is a 3-rounder. So if it was a 5-rounder, I'd be a bit more afraid for Rose because of her gas tank and her cardio. She looked a little slow against Erin once it got to those later championship rounds where she was just able to get dominated. That's a grappler's world there at once in those championship rounds. If you can't defend a takedown, you're screwed. But a 3-round fight, I like Rose to be able to do the same thing I think Cody Garbrandt can do. Just stay away from the cage. Use those kicks as much as you can. Teeps to the body. It's just some nice calf kicks to start. Those high kicks to the head that she's probably going to try to go for as well. But she's going to have to be quick because Miranda will catch a leg, just try to take you down. She's going to try to just clinch her on the cage early in this fight. I'm already frustrated thinking of how that fight's going to go. But I trust Rose here, honestly, which is crazy to say also. Trusting Rose in a fight sometimes is very... you could sell sand from a beach to me or whatever the saying is whenever I trust Rose, pretty much. But I just think she's going to be able to do more on the feet. Obviously, she doesn't have the best takedown defense, but she knows how to get out of those situations. It's not like I don't think Miranda's elite. I think she listens to her coaches as well, which is very nice. I don't think she's elite, But she's very good. I think this is a good fight for Rose to just bounce back from an Erin Blanchfield, um, and just piece her up on the feet. 3 rounds, she can win 2 of those rounds as long as she doesn't get fucking taken down. Jesus, please, please. Now, in terms of the odds, Rose is minus 250, was minus 215, now minus 250. Miranda, a lot of value on Miranda. I'm not going to lie, plus 190. I think people are going to be looking at that like free money. Not free money. I'll be honest. I don't think it's free money. I think that Rose is just going to be able to do enough on the feet for 3 rounds. It's not a 5-rounder where Miranda could win those last 2 rounds and then you're going, shit, did Rose win those first 3? She can win 2 of those first 3. She's not the biggest, but guess what? She's bigger than Miranda. So that's that right there. Give me Rose Namajunas to bounce back here by decision. Now, last fight. Main event. And this is a banger. We have Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. Now, Usman is going to be 2 inches taller, same reach advantage, and 1 inch leg reach advantage for Usman. Now, Usman hasn't fought in a long time, last losing to Hamzat, but then lost to Leon Edwards twice in his natural weight class. Obviously, the Hamzat was a 185-pound fight on short notice. Champion, what do I have to say about him? Obviously, you know him. You've watched all these fights. I don't need to talk about any of these fights. You know who we're dealing with here. Joaquin Buckley, 21-6, 11-4 in the UFC, has not lost in this weight class, which is scary. Has not lost. I mean, Colby, Thompson, Wonderboy, Ruziboyev, beautiful fight. I mean, this really propelled him. That fight against Ruziboyev really propelled him. Beat Luque, beat Morono, and Fiallo. He looks scary as hell in this fight. He's scary. I think his wrestling is down pat. He's just able to defend takedowns. He has the power. He has very slick movement in the way he lands hooks, and he's throwing those big hooks, but he's toned it down a bit because he's in these 5-rounders now. He's put himself in this position to be an animal, and I'll be honest with you, I love that for him. He killed Colby in 3 rounds. Colby didn't land shit on him. Now, I will say, this is going to be a lot harder of a fight for him than the Colby fight. Thompson fight was close, probably 1-1. Wonderboy could have won that fight, but he got finished. So guess what? Even if he had gotten knocked down, I think Buckley would have won that round. Probably would have won the decision anyways. Beat Colby because Colby has no hands. Now, we don't know what Usman's going to be what Usman is going to be looking like in there early, but I think it's probably going to be something along the lines of what we've seen before. A lot of power in his hands. Going to be looking for the wrestling, obviously, but we don't know how the knees are going to look. We know that chin is probably going to be very secure at this point. I mean, hasn't been knocked out in years at this point and only knocked out once. Not really looking too hurt a lot of the times. Only got really clipped by Gilbert Burns before that. He's fought a lot of strikers as well, but none of them have the power that this man possesses in his hands. This man, Joaquin Buckley. He's scary. He's scary, and I like him for the division. I like him for the sport. He talks a lot, but he backs it up, and he's found the weight class for him. He looks really good. In terms of the odds, Buckley minus 280, kind of steep, not going to lie. Going against a former champ, we don't really know what he's going to look like in there. So I wouldn't touch this fight personally. But if I were to, I would lean Buckley. At this point, we don't know what Usman, he's getting older. Obviously, he hasn't fought in a few years. So that, like I said, he doesn't have a lot of wear and tear in that point. But we don't know what he's going to look like in there. We know what Buckley has looked like for the past few years. And it looks scary. And I would not want to be in the octagon with that man. By all means. Now, does he finish him? He's been finishing a lot of his opponents. I don't think so. I think this can go 5 hard rounds with a former champ, one of the best fighters to ever live. I don't think he gets finished that easily, but I think he can still pull out a decision win. I think that Kamaru is going to be the one that's going to be chasing him a bit towards the end of the fight. And listen, if he gets TKO'd at some point late in the fight, that could happen. Usman could land something hard on Buckley too. Buckley not really chinny in this division, obviously. against a bigger power. He has been before at 185. Hasn't really gotten tested like that. Usman could test him for sure. So we'll see if he finds that magic shot. But I got Joaquin Buckley to win by decision. And that concludes UFC Fight Night Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. As always, please like, comment, share, favorite this, send this to your homies, please. It all helps with the algorithm. We have reached over 500 subs here. You probably know me from TikTok and my 15K TikTok account. Have a new one there now too, about I think 1.3 thousand, so 1.3K. So please follow me there as well for other content, not just this, but baseball and all those other things. If you want these predictions earlier and all the extra stuff that comes with this card in terms of just my own bets, parlays, just the community itself, not just for this, but every sport, specifically right now, baseball and tennis as well, along with the UFC. When NFL season comes back, it's going to be crazy. Please join the Discord. It's wap.com. It's the link. It's going to be linked in the description, but it's also on my channel, so please press that. Join the Discord as well. It allows me to do things like this for you as well. I appreciate you all. Obviously, these long breakdowns, it's a lot for me, but for you guys as well to listen. So I appreciate every single one of you that actually listens to these, because I put a lot of work into them too. And we have some banger fight cards after this also, and then UFC 317 is right around the corner, so I'm super excited for that. But yeah, let's have a banger card here. 10-3 or better. 13-0 is what I'm aiming for though. So 2 dogs, some red flag fights, some heavy favorites. Let's dominate. So I love you all. I'll see you guys next week. Let's keep cashing.